hi there, everybody. How's it going? We'll go back to the Lost Media Archive. It's good to see you all here today. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about the original Jeff the Killer image. The original Jeff the Killer image was the image used to be edited into the image of Jeff the Killer, which is meant to be a depiction of the fictitious murderer known as Jeff the Killer. So, enough of the pretense. Without further ado, let's begin. In 2011, on the Creepypasta Wiki user Gamerfield TV uploaded a creepypasta known as Jeff the Killer. The story tells the origins of a fictitious killer known as Jeffrey Woods, who, after moving to a new town with his brother Lou, has a series of altercations with a group of bullies, and through a tragic accident, his face gets severely injured in a fire. And due to his face being severely injured and completely unrecognizable from his original look, it causes him to have a mental breakdown and go insane, which leads him to murdering his family and him going on the loose, continuing murdering other people. The story includes an image. This image is meant to be a depiction of this fictitious murderer. And of course, it's not. For the longest time, people believed that it was actually a photograph of a woman known as Katie Robinson, who had posted her image online to 4chan, and the people of 4chan had bullied her because she was overweight and this caused her to kill herself. And that the people on 4chan made numerous edits of this image. But this turned out to not be true. The woman featured in the photograph, which was said to be the one turned into Jeff the Killer, was not named Katie Robinson, and she is still alive to this day, the one featured in the image. And that the 4chan story was completely made up. So, if not, where did it come from? Well, the original creator of the creepypasta claimed that he had taken a photo of him wearing a latex mask. That white latex mask featured in the photo that he had taken was of him wearing Jeff the Killer in a Jeff the Killer image. But it turns out this is not true either. The creator of the creepypasta, also known as Susur, had lied that it was not an image of him wearing a latex mask, as it is very clear the image is very heavily edited to the point where it is completely unrecognizable from the human being it most likely was. So if not from there, where did it come from? Well, in August of 2008, a user on the site known as Newgrounds named Killer Jeff uploaded a photo of it, and he claimed that it was a photograph of himself, that he was Jeff. Now, a little bit later in October, that user on YouTube uploaded a video which featured a proto version of the Jeff the Killer story, and it was presented using the video making software known as Windows Movie Maker. Now, evidence of this image being traced back to earlier on YouTube goes back to 2007 with the Japanese video NNN Den in Japanese special broadcast, where at the 4 minute and 11-second mark, the image of Jeff the Killer is featured in a still frame for a few seconds. Now, this was the first time we had any evidence to say that Jeff the Killer originated from the country of Japan. Now, the Jeff the Killer image was discovered on a Japanese website known as paya.cc, posted November 16th, 2005 by user OmegaVolt. And looking at the file data, we find out that it was originally named Pretty Face, and that it was used, and that Photoshop 6.0 was used. Photoshop 6.0 was released in 2000, so either the Jeff the Killer image was made in the year 2000, or it was made sometime afterwards, and the user had to use an older version of Adobe Photoshop. Now, an earlier version of the Jeff the Killer photograph, this proto version, which has very clear differences, and the more rougher around the edge versions of the photograph, was discovered to have been posted on September the 9th of 2006 by a user named Mr. Mulholland on the website paya.cc, and this time it was saved to an image file known as White Powder 2. And now, actually, alongside that, in November, specifically November the 10th of 2005, a reply on a 2chan thread, which is the Japanese version of the anonymous image board known as 4chan, featured a reply link which led to an image titled Pretty Face, and it was the image of the prototype version of Jeff the Killer. And we found multiple appearances of the prototype version of the Jeff the Killer image all throughout various Japanese image boards from August of 2005. So the earliest known origin of this was from is August of 2005. Is the earliest point that we have of the image's appearance, with it being the prototype version of it. Now, where did it come from? Well, there are a few good standing. What are a few good standing points? The first theory came from Mr. Mulholland himself, who claimed that it was an image of a middle-aged woman on a Japanese cam video website, and that the image had been taken, edited, and turned into the prototype version of the Jeff the Killer image. Now, another more very popular theory is that it was actually a photo of a Japanese woman whose boyfriend uploaded various photos of her online without her consent, with him intending to document her weight loss journey, her not knowing any of the photos he took of her were being uploaded online, and due to her in some of the photos having some clear feature similarities to Jeff the Killer, and some of the photos, her position and where she's and the angle she's at, looking pretty similar, possibly to the prototype version of Jeff the Killer. Many people believe that it was actually one of her photos uploaded by her boyfriend that got turned into the Jeff the Killer image. And of course, again, from Mr. Mulholland, he remembered it being a photograph of a woman on a Japanese cam video site that got screenshotted and it turned into it. But exactly where it is, we don't exactly know. We just have possible theories on where it actually could have originated from. So we don't know for sure. What we do know is that it is of Japanese origin and that it originated sometime, that the image itself was sometime was more probably created prior to August 2005, but was definitely but for what we know was uploaded sometime in August of 2005 for the first time, at least from what we know. With And we also know that it could possibly originate from a 4chan challenge people would often do, where they would upload an image as part of a post and say "make me cute," which was the and then the 4chaners would make edits of the image to make it increasingly more disturbing and horrifying, as that was the point of it, as sort of a joke, really. And so many people believe that it could have possibly been from that. Many people also believe that the eyes of Jeff the Killer were actually taken from a image of a Mr. Potato Head, and that someone had edited out the eyes and pasted the eyes on over the original eyes. As many people point out the similarities between the eyes of Jeff the Killer and the eyes of Mr. Potato Head, them having very clear similarities and having somewhat of a resemblance to each other. And so someone could have easily taken a photograph of Potato Head, cut out the eyes, and pasted them onto Jeff the Killer, or whatever the prototype version name of it. And also, many people wonder if it has any correlation to the Japanese legend of the Slipmouth Woman, as of course one of the earliest names of it was Preface. The Japanese legend of the Slipmouth Woman was a woman who wore a mouth covering, and then would walk up to you and then take it off and ask her if she was pretty. And depending on how you answered, she would either let you live or she would kill you. It really depended on how you handled the situation. And due to Jeff the Killer's very grotesque and mangled look and the wide smile, very reddish smile, some people believe that they have some correlation to each other and could possibly be connected in some way. But for now, we don't know where this could have come from, as the early days of the internet were very, very poorly documented. Many early websites are lost to time, so the chances of this are possibly, so we may never truly find what the original image was of Jeff the Killer that got made into it. But hopefully it could be found one day, as we've been able to track it all the way back down to 2005 in a country on the other side of the world from where the user who created the story of Jeff came from. And we've been able to track down a prototype version, and we've come this far, so possibly we could do this and find the original image. Of course, there's a chance its original image could be lost forever. Now, I want to point something out, okay? I want to point something out. Remember, one of the earliest examples of the photograph of this prototype photograph is called White Powder 2, people. It's 2. that I fear that there could possibly be another either another second prototype version, or this could possibly just be referring to the original image that got eventually edited to it, and that the image had gone around as the name white powder at some point in time due to maybe the person in the photograph having an extremely pale face. That it eventually got edited, and that's that's just my theory, okay? That either A, there's a prototype version out there, or that the original image was called white powder. So maybe we should try to go around looking for images for that time period, which people called white powder, or something like that. Or very pale images, just saying. But that's just all I have to say. Anyways, bye. Have a nice time.